Okay, Kum, salutations to the prime 747 24/7 361 degrees. Let's get this party started. Peace to the family, peace to everybody that's going to be joining us tonight, today, wherever you are on the planet. Let's go. Peace to the family. What's going on, y'all? Peace to everybody coming in. Peace to everybody that supports the movement. Thank you.
Go out, save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out, save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out.
Shout out to the family. Kum, peace to the primes. All right, so I guess we cool. We're cool to begin. I want to say thank you for everybody that supports the movement. Peace to everybody watching in the YouTube as well as the Facebook. Thank you. So I would like to introduce myself for those that are just beginning to know me, just beginning to get familiar with the movement. All right. I am Solar Prime Supreme 131, Lazarus Lamel of the Messiah Code movement, also of the Walu, which is a nonprofit organization. All right. And I'd like to say shout out to you. Tonight we will be doing readings from the Codex, the magic stones of the Codex. If you don't have the book, the book is on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. All right. So yeah, I got a couple things I want to talk about tonight. A couple things I want to address, and I want to tap into the energies, of course. Now, when we speak of the Messiah or what is a Messiah, we need to start with that. All right. A Messiah is a leader or a savior of a particular group or a cause. So if we talking about a Messiah, it is a Messiah designated wherever or whoever, whatever location that you are, there is a Messiah there. There is someone representing the network. All right. So, you know, another thing is what I would like people to know is that we are in the age of what we call information. Another name for it, what we call it, is Tanun. Other people call it the age of Aquarius. All right. So in this age, what I want to let you know, you are the gods and goddesses that they will be worshiping thousands of years from now. All right. You are those gods and goddesses. Okay. So let me before I do the stone, before I do the readings, and before I do anything, I wanted to talk about a couple things, and then we can build on it. All right. So now the 1 through 31 actually is symbolic of the body of what we call the returning Messiah. Some people think the Messiah to return as a person or a particular entity, but collectively we form that body of that returning Messiah. I don't know if y'all can hear. All right, make sure everything is flowing pretty decent. Yeah. All right, cool. So the 1 through 31 collectively represents the body that we form as that returning Messiah. You said we can hear. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And there's many things that I can share with you today collectively. You know, one thing I would like to share with you is that we all have an experience. We all have something that we're going through, and each experience represents an extension of God. From the beginning, when I've been sharing this message, I've been sharing the idea that God is the experience. And I will hope that resonates with those that are connected to the essence of what we consider to be God. All right. So I wanted to speak on Thawalu, what Thawalu is as a 501c3 charitable religious organization. I wanted to speak on that. And I had something I wanted to say about that. And then from there, I'll have a discussion about the purple pill. I know a lot of people are interested in that. Some people ask me, they say, well, what is this purple pill about? You know, I'll have a discussion about that. We'll talk about that. And what we'll also talk about, in essence, is the square of Saturn, the magic square of Saturn. All right. We'll talk about that as well. What's going on, y'all? And we'll just build. We'll just build. We'll just flow with the moment. We'll flow with the energy. I'm kind of setting up a new system here. So if it's kind of glitchy, just let me know. And yeah, it was kind of glitchy a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of glitchy for a second. But just let me know if things are going kind of whatever. And I'll make sure that I connect with the idea of what it is. All right. So let me get a little bit motivated. All right. So and let me bring a couple people up to date and up to speed with a couple of the things that I've been sharing with the family. All right. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Joshua, peace, peace, peace. Yo, family, I got some fire for you tonight. I really got some fire for you, what I want to talk about. All right. As you know, you said where you at, fam? Where I'm actually in Florida, if you want to know. I'm in Florida. But we also have a headquarters that is in North Carolina. We have a headquarters that's in North Carolina, but I am in Florida at the moment. All right. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what was going on with my system. My system was kind of glitchy a little bit, but it's all good. I want to just flow. I want to flow with with a couple ideas that I've been sharing with the family, and I want to bring people up to speed. So shout out to you, brother Joshua. Thank you for your attendance. So, I've been talking to the family about this right here, and this is called the magic square of Saturn. So, in the Matrix, what is so significant about the Matrix, the way the people were escaping or getting out of the Matrix, they were called by the phone, all right? They were called by on the phone by someone. And as long as they went to a landline, they were able to answer that that phone call. They were able to get out of the matrix. All right. So one thing that was in the matrix, they offered you a couple pills. All right. They offered you a blue pill and a red pill. All right. But here in the Messiah Code, we don't offer you the blue pill or the red pill because whether you know it or not, that was a trick. Okay. Just like when they told you to follow the rabbit, tricks are for kids, but you also know that the rabbit was just to pull you for bait. It was just to capture your mind like bait. Okay. We don't follow the rabbit. We actually follow the turtle. All right. So if you want to know what is the Walu is actually the love, excuse me, the healing associated when all love unites. That is actually an acronym for what Dualu is as a 501c3 religious charitable organization. But I can tell you that the Walu goes even deeper because the Walu represents divine manifestation. It also represents a divine connection or how we coexist as oneness. All right. So I had something that I wanted to say to the community how there is a pulse running through the communities, a rhythm waiting to be remembered. It lives in the soil beneath our feet, in the breath of our elders, and in the eyes of every child that dares to dream beyond the boundaries that were placed before them. So I want to talk about things like that in reference to what Diwali represents. Because we exist for those who were overlooked, for the men with callous hands, broken spirits, and for the women that had strength to carry generations, and for the youth searching for the language that speaks to their soul. That's what we represent as Diwali, because we're here for the ones that have been displaced from their names as well as their roots, and it could be their potential future. All right. So it's many things that, you know, I can say that the community is in need of, and I want to share for what's in my heart. I want to share love. All right, because I think that is truly what the community needs. It needs someone that cares about what's going on. That's why a Messiah is designated in a particular section. All right. So they ask you, yo, in the matrix, first of all, let me say this. I'm going to ask the people that's coming in, that's for the readings or whatever, that maybe heard a discussion before. How many degrees are in a circle before we begin? Before we begin this discussion, I want to know how many degrees are in a circle. Please put it in the comment section. Please put it in the comment section. You are relevant. You should come up with a calculation of 361 degrees. Before I begin and talk about the real matrix, before I begin to talk about the real matrix, how many degrees are in a circle? I just want to know. Oracle said 361. How many degrees are in a circle, y'all? Put it in the comment section. Please. It's a question to qualify the chat room for a minute. How many degrees are in the circle? You should come up with the calculation of 361 degrees. And you might say, well, why is it 361 degrees, Lamel? Because it's the dot that they forgot that's in the middle of it. That 1 degree is the degree that they forgot. So if you just coming on here and you just learning something and you say, well, they gave us 360 degrees, Lamel. Actually, they put you outside of the circle when they gave you the 360 degrees. All right. 361 degrees represent the dot that's in the middle of the circle. Okay. So from there, you can begin because that's where the circle began. The circle began in the hidden principle, just like God begins in the hidden principle that's within you. That's why Amun, our Amen, represents the faithful. But Amen is in Revelations 3:14 that represents Pi as well. So it's 361 degrees in a circle for the people that are just beginning or just beginning to know what the concept of this is. All right. So the nine put us in a loop of time, as well as the six put us in a loop of time. All right. But we broke those loops and we broke those chains. All right. And that's what this was all about. When we talk about this right here, the magic square of Saturn, the magic square of Saturn was something to deceive your mind. Because, you know, again, I ask people here, pick a number between 1 and 31. Guess what? Nobody had the number zero. And the reason why nobody had the zero, because none of us were there at the zero, or none of us are conscious or know what the zero is. All right, at this point. But we are in tune with the zero because the zero flows and it becomes the number eight, if you want to know. It flows and it becomes the number eight in essence. All right. But when you look at this magic square of Saturn, what you see is a trap right here. You see a trap, and the only way that you can get out of it is to balance the number. What if I tell you that I know people look at this and they say, man, that's just a square with numbers. It seems like Sudoku that he's doing. It seems like some form of Sudoku. But what if I tell you that these actually represents atoms, atoms to transform your mind, all right? Atoms to take your mind or change the perception of how you see yourself within the cube. What if I tell you that? You may look at it like a square, but it's not a square at all. It is the way an atom is constructed. Because if you ever look at carbon, it has a covalent bond with other elements, and that's the way it builds and constructs, other things that we consider to be life forms. Okay, but it uses a covalent bond. If you notice, this is almost similar. I mean, it's not four because that'd be a covalent bond, but it uses a similar principle where all of these numbers they balance out. And if this was an atom, it would be doing the same thing. Now, when you're in your meditational world, yeah, you see the numbers. When you're in the meditational world, it is similar to the precepts of what this is right here. It's balancing all or everything that's in your circle. All right. Some people ask me, well, what is the Messiah code? First, you have to ask yourself, well, what is a Messiah? Because they gave us a false Messiah. They gave us a fake identity of what we thought a Messiah would be. You think about it. Even in the movie The Matrix, you see Neo like they thinking the Messiah is the one. How about what if I say the Messiah is the whole? Because I'd rather say that God is wholeness rather than God is one. Because it's a lot of people saying that their God is one and they have became territorial, or in a sense where they making people, you know you know forcing people on their spiritual perception of how they see reality. And that's not the way things are, because if you look at the birds, a lot of the birds sing many songs, many tunes, but we have various different kinds of birds that sing different songs. And you are the same. You're singing the song of the universe as you speak the words of life, as you speak, things, or how you feel, you should exist in this world. That right there is the expression of what the universe is. All right. So this is something that I want to share with the community, in essence, to what the Messiah Code is. It's been called by many names. It has many things that is associated with what a Messiah is. All right. But it is not one person in particular. A Messiah is wholeness. It is a state of consciousness that you reach once you're ready to release a couple things. And like I said, you know, the trick of the matrix was the blue pill and the red pill, because when you when you was given the option of this, I'm gonna tell you, it was a certain thing that also approached you. The grim reaper approached you. All right. It was a grim reaper that approached you because what happened was you was in your meditational world and you received the truth of transcendence. And when you receive that truth of transcendence, you try to come back. And when you came back to the people, you know you came back with something that was unlike no other. All right. And then what happened was it was a grim reaper between you and this world and your meditation. And the Grim Reaper said, "Do you which one do you want to take, the blue pill or the red pill?" Because the blue pill would be forgetfulness, for you to forget, or you to be washed through the waters of your mother, and you just forget things. All right. But it's also, the red pill is to sacrifice those that are important. All right. Now let me tell you something. It's many red pills that is out there, man. And the devil, or what they consider to be the devil, man, I'm gonna tell you, plays a filthy game. The devil will play with people that you love, man, just to see how much that do you love God. I'm gonna keep it real. The devil will play with things that you love to see how much you love God. I'm gonna keep it real. What do you think that red pill is about? That red pill is about passion. It's about the passion of Christ, for real, for real. But it was about, remember when Neo was walking, he said, "Man, watch for the woman in the red dress. Don't get caught up by it, but don't get caught up by the red pill as well, because the red pill was Red Riding Hood." See, everybody, read the Little Red Riding Hood story, but never everybody didn't seem to think that Little Red Riding Hood was really the wolf the whole time. She was the wolf the whole time that consumed and ate the family. Little Red Riding Hood was that person the whole time. So it was a trick, because Little Red Riding Hood was Neo in the Matrix, who sacrificed Trinity, the only person he loved. Just like Psyche in the Matrix, he sacrificed the only person he loved, who was who? Morpheus. The only person Psyche loved in the Matrix was Morpheus. So he sacrificed him. All right. So it is red pillars out there that will sacrifice you for what they think is good. They would do things to disturb your peace in some sort of way. And only thing I can say is just forgive them, because it's just a temporary moment of expression, you know. But we live we live to fight another day. It is what it is. All right. So you got that red pill. The red pill is to sacrifice somebody important, somebody that has done or given you the truth. And it doesn't have to be Lamel that gave you the truth. It can be somebody else that gave you the truth. All right. And when they give you the truth, you wake up from a sleeping situation. And when you wake up from that sleep, you don't want to go back to the person that you was. Imagine that. Remember Lot? Let me tell y'all something about a story real quick. You had Abraham, right? Abraham had the it was a destruction that was going to take place, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So with this destruction, Abraham had to go gather some people so to save some people. But Abraham felt as though it was too much. The burden was too much on him to gather these people because the simple fact that these people they were not listening to the message. So when he was sanctioned to get 100 people or 1,000 people, Abraham thought it was just too much at that point of time. And then, the angels asked Abraham, well, look, I want you to just get 10 people. Abraham still thought it was too much because the people were so consumed with darkness. People were so consumed with being materialistic, being so materialistic. You know what? The angel told Abraham, yo, just get one. Just go get one person, yo. Because the thing about it was the only thing the angels was asking of Abraham was to give 100%, not to give half a percent. Yo, don't bring back a half a person. You can't bring back a half a person. So if they told him to get 10 people, if they told him to get 100 people, guess what they told Abraham? They told Abraham to give 100% of himself in order for the job to be done. All right. And that's all the universe is asking you to do at these moments. And it be those red pills that want to tempt you with certain things. Because you know what? See, the red pill doesn't forget, but they don't have any remorse because they're giving money. When they're giving money, they don't care about you. They don't care about whatever was going on, your health. They don't care about what was going on, how you was living or what you was doing with yourself. If they're giving money, they just happy with the situation they're in, sadly. And they rather you just kill yourself and ravish yourself in money or lavish yourself in money. Let me tell you something. Money is it's the root of all evil, or the love of money rather, not money itself. Okay? And some people, what they do is, I'm gonna keep it real. They don't understand that it's an energy that flows through a person. All right. The money is currency. It's an energy that flows through somebody. And then we're all connected in a way to share this abundance that the universe has provided. Okay. And it's the haves and the haves not. That's it. And some of us are put in a position to make sure that we guard this. And another name for guard is God. We keep it 100. But let me go back to the red pill and the blue pill. It's no hate on the red or blue color, but I'm telling you, every color has a bad and a good to it. It's just up to you to tap into what the essence of what it represents. But yo, when people take that red pill, they're giving money. They don't have any remorse for what they do or sacrificing who they sacrifice. They don't have any remorse for that. All right. So we take the purple pill, and the purple pill is both of those. I learned about this in my meditation. People say, well, where you get this story from? From cracking this code. Well, I learned about it in my meditation. In my meditation, I got some truth about the Messiah code and what it represents and the essence of what it is. And I was in my meditation and thinking about the womb. And the womb is the matrix. But the womb is also Dabir because it's the niche. It's the niche in the box. It's the niche in the box. This is something that y'all got to get because in Al Islam, they got what they call the niche is the Qibla. The Qibla in Islam is where everybody face and pray. Everybody prays towards that direction because everybody concentrates their force. But what if I tell you this, right? What people are doing when they're doing that, they are creating an amplitude modulation. All right, because you don't send the signal by frequency, you send it by amplifying your intent. You shape the wave by how deep you feel. This is why emotion is what? Energy and motion. That's important because, you know, when everybody is, praying together, or everybody is concentrating on that same force or that same thought. Let's say we focus on success here. We focus on success. We can actually break the barrier of the cube. And people say, well, what is the cube? The cube is the real matrix. It's the real explanation of what the matrix is. Some people call it a box of sort. And that's what it is. It's a dimensional box. All right. So I had something that I wanted to share with you, in essence, to this box, in breaking out of the box. If you think about it, the box having six sides to it, right? A box, which is a cube, it has six sides. Those six sides are associated with carbon. This is the cell that we are placed in. All right. A carbonated cell with six sides. Then you have 12 lines that are connected to the way the box is formed. All right. You have 12 lines associated with the box. Thank you, Purple Heart Forest. So the 12 lines are associated with the 12 zodiac signs. Come on, y'all, watch this riddle. All of these things are riddles that are cracked through the Messiah code. All right. So the box has 12 lines, and those 12 lines are associated with 12 zodiac signs, or 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night. So thus you got 24 hours. And what's so deep? Watch this. If you think about, now you got eight vertices, right? You got eight vertices of a box, meaning that in a cube, right? In a cube, you got eight vertices. That means where all lines meet at. And those vertices are called angles. Another name for angles are angels. Let me tell you something. The prism is where the light shines through the angle. That's where the prism is. And then the light shines through the prism, which is the angle, and it becomes knowledge that we interpret as as information. All right? Because light is really knowledge. People think like the sun is emitting light. No, it's emitting thought. It's emitting light. You can interpret it as light, but the sun is really emitting thought. And what happens is, like I said, we're placed in a cube, a dimensional cube. Watch how deep the cube is, because the cube is based on that system of 24 hours. Look at this. 12 times 6 times 8 equals 576, right? And 576 is actually 24 square. So I'm not off my mark when I'm saying this. This is all mathematics. Just like for everybody that's coming in, everybody should know that it is 361 degrees in a circle. All of us should know that. The 360 degrees is a lie. That's the first lie that they gave you, because you know why? They placed you outside of the circle instead of inside of the circle, because the 1 degree that they forgot was the dot that's in the middle. And without that, you would not have, you wouldn't be able to calculate the radius, you wouldn't be able to calculate the circumference, the diameter of a circle, or of the circle of life, because 361 is 19 times 19, which equals 361. Go check it out. And what does 361 add to? It adds to wholeness, or one, right? So the math is correct, and everything is fundamentally here for you to understand, or overstand, or understand what the universe is saying to you at this moment. All right. So again, with the purple pill and the blue pill and the red pill, we don't take those. We take the purple pill, which means that you're willing to be the sacrifice instead of sacrifice someone who gave you the truth. You're willing to instead of uh uh forget. You know, you know how people want to forget. They just want to forget the truth when somebody gives them the truth and they want to just do whatever they want to do. Nah, you just forgive. You forgive those that you need to forgive and you move forward. Because you know why? If you hold on to that, that would be a baggage that you don't need, or a book bag that you don't need to be carrying around. Let me keep it real. It's a book bag that you don't need to be carrying around. So instead of forgetting, how about this? Why don't you just forgive and then you just move forward? You won't forget because you learn from the situation. All right. So that's what that's all about. So you take both pills and it became what? You took both pills and it became the purple pill. All right. And that purple pill essentially, that purple pill represents what? Like I said, it represents the willing sacrifice that you're willing to sacrifice yourself, but also that not that that you're willing to forget, but you're willing to forgive. All right, and you do not follow the turtle. Excuse me, the rabbit. You follow the turtle in the matrix. The matrix is the womb. Okay, now the matrix is also the mind tricks. All right. It's the mind tricks. We have been placed in the square of Saturn for discipline. All of us. All of us, we have been quarantined on this planet. But guess who's in charge? Saturn is in charge of everything. And in order to get off of this planet, you have to first go to the moon. You have to go to the moon. And the moon of our solar system is actually Saturn. Let me keep it real. It's the force of Saturn. 29.5 years it moves through the zodiac, the same exact time or frequency that it takes the moon or satellite to go around the earth. So these things are important for you to understand that it's something deep going on with the dimensional reality that we live in. And if you don't pay attention to it, you'll be doing this over again like a loop. You'll be doing it over again like a loop. So I'm doing my best to share things with you so you can break the loop. Break the loop, yo, because people are so fascinated at the number nine. Oh man, 9999. Please drop the number nine. I want y'all to start dealing with irrational numbers like pi. I want y'all to start dealing with irrational numbers like Euler's number, like the square root of two. Numbers that go on forever and ever and ever, because you'll find yourself in those numbers. Like pi goes on forever. Like it is no pattern. It is, pi doesn't have a pattern that repeats itself. It just goes on. The digits goes on forever. This is what the universe provides for us when it comes to learning or when it comes to becoming. It is not closed. That is the box. When you think about it, the one through nine is actually the box. That's actually the box because those are closed numbers. The same way the box is closed. And the only way you can get out of the box is really by spiraling, by spiraling yourself. Excuse me. Because thought or things move in a spiral. Like when they talk about you know of like the seashell or how it grows, or the ratio of how things grow in a certain way. It is a divine ratio of how things are connected with each other or how it grows. All right. And it's the same thing with you or how you're connected to a universe. Okay. But these things, you go on forever. You don't have a closed reality. That's why you spiral up. If you ever see the Kundalini, it represents that spiral. All right. But if you ever see the smoke, like the ancients they used to, like, let's say they burn incense or whatever, the smoke was symbolic of that spiral. That's why they burnt the smoke of the incense, for you to understand that the universe, it actually has a way that it folds into each other, but it's a spiraling of sort. All right, how these things are connected, and that's how you get out of the box, because you move towards the angle or the angel, okay, which is the vertice. Now, remember, you had 8 vertices. The number 8 is aligned with your eyes. All right. It's the journey of the mirror. The mirror is the number 8. Because when we talk about the journey of the Messiah, let me tell you something. The numbers actually tell the journey of the Messiah. Because at number 1, the Messiah, he got knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of all things, a clear and certain perception of information learned by one's ability of looking, listening, and observing. And then you got wisdom, which is wise words spoken, experience from situations and events lived. All right. And then he moved on to understanding, which is the comprehension of a subject matter, but it's also the combination of knowledge and wisdom. All right, when he got understanding, and thus he was able to live his culture. And then that's the number 4, because 4 is anything you do mentally, physically, spiritually, or financially. These are the aspects of your culture, or what your flag is square, which represents your culture. So he learned the culture by moving from east, north, east, south, and west, and he learned various different cultures. But then he moved to the seat of power, and that's when he got on the throne. All right, but what he learned is power is a gift and a curse, and that's when he moved to the number 6. All right, and then what he what he realized is that he had to yield to a force that was greater than himself, which was the number 7, which was God. And but he was looking for God. He never found God. So what he did was, because he was praying, that's when he went down on all 7. Because when you go down and pray, whether you know it or not, you are touching the ground with 7 points. So that is symbolic when the Messiah was looking for God and he didn't find God when he was at the 7. He found was the echo chamber of himself. That's all he found was the words or the echoes of himself. So he went a place higher looking for God, and he went to the mirror because that was the only place that he could go to find God, and that's where he found God, in the mirror. That's where the Messiah found God, at the number 8. Number 8 made you great. All right, it was the mirror. That's when the Messiah found God, because he was able to see it in himself or herself. However, y'all, you want to place yourself in the story, but the numbers tell the story of the Messiah, and thus 9 gave birth to what? What did 9 give birth to? 9 gave birth to what? It was a it was a lock on 9, and he couldn't pass the number 9, and that's why the number 10 looks like a Ghostbuster sign, like a circle with a line, because you can't go past it. Every other number is a compound figure, but I beg the pardon, because every other number past 9 is actually a combination of personalities. It's a combination of things to create an energy of its own. Like 11 is its own energy, 12 is its own energy, so is 13. All of these have their own energy. You can say it's a combination of 1 and 3, but it actually has its own energy. The same way, if you mixing things in a pot, guess what happened? It'll have its own flavor. It has its own essence. All right. So, any questions? Are there any questions? Excuse me. Are there any questions of sort? My fault. I wanted to connect with y'all on that level. Are there any questions? Any questions or comments about the Messiah Code, about anything that I share? You know, what I want to say is to the people that we're working hard in the background of everything. I know I'm sharing with you spiritual information, but also we're working hard in the background to make an impact on the community. Let me keep it real. For this is not just hoopla, and it's just not me coming up on here, you know, talking about a couple things. It's actually me sharing some breadcrumbs in order to bring people forward to a new way of life or new things to happen, a new essence of what could happen in your life. All right. Because, we are the gods and goddesses that they're going to be worshiping thousands of years from now, y'all. We are those great ones. This is what, in essence, excuse me, that we're tapping into. When you think about the body of the Messiah, each person has a certain position within that body. And no person is greater than the next. Because imagine this, if you lose your foot, how would you feel? You wouldn't be complete. If you lost your hand, you lost your arm, you lost your any part of your body, you will not be complete. And that's how the body is without you taking that position or the initiative to operate or move or navigate through the course of life as that body part. Each body or each position within the body has a spiritual connection with it. It talks about it in the Quran, how they said man's body parts will testify for them. They will testify in the light of who they are. That's why I tell you, like, I'm like, in essence, I tell the people, I say, yo, man, you got to start praying over your eyes. So, yo, pray over your eyes and say, yo, God, you know, give me vision. Like, yo, God, I pray over my eyes today. I want you to please, universe, give me the vision so I can see the sight, so I can see the truth of the matter. I'm praying over my eyes. You know, a lot of us don't pray over our mouth. Say, yo, universe, I pray over my tongue today. I pray that I may speak the truth, that I may speak something to someone's heart, that I may touch someone's heart today through my voice, through this tongue that I was blessed with. You know what I mean? We got to pray over these things and command it through the universal expression of all because we are here to serve a purpose. And if we're here to serve a purpose, the purpose is symbolic of your calling. That's when you answer the call in the matrix. And that's when you get out of the box. All right. That's when you get out of the box. So, you got to pray over your feet at times and say, yo, universe, take my feet where they need to go. Please, like, heal my feet. But, I please allow my feet to take me where I need to go today. So I can touch somebody in a way, I can touch somebody's heart in a way that can change them for the better. You know, and with the Messiah code, I'm gonna keep it real. One thing that we do as Messiahs, we don't pray for ourselves. We don't. We pray for others. If anybody asks me, well, what are you doing in the course of prayer? Who you pray to? Well, I pray to the universe and I'm praying for you in some sort of way. I'm praying for you so you can have peace and you can have that joy, but you can have it with others as well, where your peace doesn't infringe on no one else's peace. That's what I pray for. If you want to ask me, I pray for you to have joy. I pray for us to connect in a way that we can share things with each other to advance what life is, because we all have something to offer to advance this, to grow it in some sort of way. So those are the things I pray for. If you want to ask me, I don't pray for myself. Y'all can have that. That y'all can have that. I don't pray for myself. I say, God, give me something. I don't, because whatever the universe provides for me, that's what the universe provides. And that's the same thing when they question the Messiah about the birds. The Messiah was saying, yo, the birds don't want for nothing. They're not, because they're fulfilling their purpose. They sing a song. You should be singing a new song of joy. You know why? Because we live in the age of information. That means we're in formation. Like, We're in order right now. We were in chaos. We were out of order. Now we're in formation. We getting the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, overstanding what we need in order to guide us to the next level of self, to transition to something better. That's what we doing right now. And if somebody can't see that in you, they can't see it in themselves. If you growing every day and you know you like you're not looking back in a way like, listen, you're not looking back in a way where you saying Kofa, when you look back, you reflect. Yeah, you reflect on the greatness of old and the great things that we can achieve, but you don't look back as something to pull you back. Because it's a lot of things that will pull you back. People will try to pull you back. Like for instance, the moment you start feeling God, you start feeling godly, they say, well, what you doing? What you doing? Oh, you want to go? Oh, you want to go to the temple now? Oh, you want to pray? Oh, you want to do this now, man? I remember. Come on, bro. Oh, come on. I remember you was this. Don't you want to do this? People will tempt you with the wildest things, and you got to be the strongest person nowadays. Because if you have a weak mind, trust me on that, you will allow a walk-in to happen. And somebody said, well, what is a walk-in? A walk-in is, whether you know it or not, your body is hollow. Your body, all of this is hollow. So if you have a hollow spirit as well, where you don't have no solidity or no foundation on what you know you are, you will allow somebody to walk right in you, or allow a spirit to walk right in you if you don't have a proper psychic self-defense. And guess what will happen? That spirit will animate you. It will animate your body. And guess what? You will not be in control. Somebody else will take your will or take the will, because you allowed this to happen by not having or utilizing your psychic self-defense. You got to know who you are these days. You got to know where you want to go. It ain't no it ain't nobody trying to figure out anything nowadays. You got to know it. And as you know it, you proceed forward. That's it. Don't let nobody shake you off of anything. You know why? Because I'm gonna tell you some real stuff. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know, when they talk about the idea of diamonds and pressure making diamonds and all of that good stuff. But I'm gonna tell you something else with the diamond. I'm gonna give you something special about the diamond. Maybe somebody never gave it to you. Because yeah, pressure busts pipes and pressure makes diamonds. I get that. But don't you know, if you go into Daniel chapter 2, verse 30 and on up, it speaks of a giant that that was knocked down, that was destroyed, all right, by an illustrious stone. That illustrious stone was a diamond, but that diamond was created not by the hands of man, but it was created by the hands of God. This same stone was the stone that David utilized to slay Goliath. For real. So David actually slayed Goliath with a diamond. So he slayed him with one stone. See, he slayed Goliath with one stone. You don't gotta say too much. You don't gotta do too much. All you gotta do is just be focused on one thing. That's what the universe is providing for you. All right. It is a total lesson of experience. Think about this, right? In the Garden of Eden, right? God telling you, oh man, stay away from this one thing, right? But now, after the Garden of Eden, guess what God is telling you? Come towards this one thing. Ain't that some deep stuff? Like, dag, man, in the Garden of Eden, you say, man, God or whatever y'all want to place, however y'all want to get with the story, y'all can, it's all symbolic to me. But God is telling you in the Garden of Eden, yo, man, stay away from this stuff. Stay away from this. All right. But you mess with it anyway. And you did what you did anyway. And you learned about good and evil. And you know what it means to be a God. But you know what? God told you, or the universe did, told you, he said, man, I want you, instead of staying away from something, I'm gonna do the opposite. I want you to just come towards something. Just come towards one thing. That's it. Because that's all the universe did. The universe gave you one commandment both times. Stay away from this one thing. Okay, you violated. You messed up. Since you messed up, I'm gonna give you another commandment. The universe said, what I want you to do is just come towards this one thing. And guess what that one thing was? That was God. God, the universe is telling you, come towards me. This one thing. I know I told you to stay away from this, but this one thing I want you to come towards, and that's me. And that's this is really the relationship of how we connect with the higher echelon of what reality provides. Peace to the elder Pat Sam. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone that's coming in. I really love y'all, and I really do this. I'm gonna tell you, I do this out of love and a passion of my heart. People say, "Well, what brings you the message on here? What, figuratively speaking, what brings you here to bring the message?" My message is to free people because we was on the slave ships. I remember, we heard about these situations where we was on the slave ships. But once we got off the slave ships, guess where they put us? They put us in the matrix. So we went from the slave ships to the matrix, and we still got to free our people in some sort of way. I mean, keep it real. People are in a cage that they don't even know. People are locked in a box with walls that around them that they don't even know, that are closing in on them. Don't you know the word wall is law backwards? So if you try to kick up against the wall or you try to kick up against the law, it closes in on you, and the box gets even smaller. So you got to play the game right. Trust me on that. It's agents out here. You gotta really play the game right. And you can't be trying to kick up against the law or the wall. All right. So that's what this was about when I'm telling y'all that you gotta move through the angles or the angels to break out the square of Saturn. And that brings you to the cornerstone. The cornerstone is actually the Messiah. Keep it real. It's the stone they everybody threw away. Remember when they threw you away? Say, man, he ain't gonna do nothing, man. Look at him. Look at her. Let her just rot away. She just good. Let him let the they listen, the cornerstone that a lot of us was that cornerstone where everybody is having a good time and we not having a good time because they threw us away in such a way. Let me keep it real. A lot of us was that cornerstone. But that cornerstone is what all the other stones lean upon. If you notice, it's what all the other stones lean upon in order for the structure to stay up, as oddly as it seems. I just want you to know how great you are. All right. So we figured it out, and we figured out how to get to the operator. All right. And how to break out this box. It's 11:33 right now. Cool. All right. It's a special moment. Peace to everybody. So, we talked about this in essence to the cube having six square faces. All right. The edges is 12 edges representing the 12 zodiac signs, but also representing an equinox of sort, 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night. The vertices, all right, we had eight vertices, and the way we connected up to the higher frequency of thought was through the vertices, all right, because the vertices are actually your vertical, your vertical, your vertical, how you reach height, how you connect with your height, your vertical, all right? So the vertices, it's an angular motion though. The way you go, that you move up, you don't just move straight up like this. You move through a stairway. All right, it's almost like a winding stairway of sort. Okay, so this is what we learning through the box and creating the AM radio. Because remember, the amplitude modulation, you don't send a signal by frequency, you send it by amplifying your intent in the universe. You got to think about, what do you mean by intent, Lamel? Like, for instance, you know, one thing is messiahs, what we don't do, we don't curse people. Like, you don't go around and say, like, let's say somebody did you wrong, right? You don't go and curse that person, because what happens is, as a messiah, you got the power of utterance. So if you say something, you can say something with the intent in your heart, and the universe actually do it to you. You get what I'm saying? Because you saying it with the intent of your heart. It's the full intent of your heart. You saying, "Oh man, I want this person to whatever. I want this person to be whatever." And guess what? The universe like, "Oh, for real? I got you. I got you. I'm gonna provide. Do you want this person to be harmed? Do you want this person to be whatever? I got you." And then all of these things fall upon you. That's why you gotta watch what you say as messiahs. Say the most powerfulest thing. As messiahs, you should be blessing people. When you walk about, you should be saying, "Bless you. Hey, bless you. You looking good today. You know what? I want you to have a good day today. You know what? You looking nice. You know, you looking better. Oh, I love the way you looking today." Boom, 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 boom. You blessing people however you blessing them. Hello, hey, how you doing? Hi, smiling at people. Like, what? Like, why is that person so jolly? Why is that person feeling so good? Because you know why? You have the power of intent. That power of intent is the frequency, all right, that you modulate. That's the power. Like, you want to say, in all right, for instance, I got you on this one. Another one. Y'all think that energy, like, y'all ever heard of Schumann's resonance? Schumann's resonance is actually like a tone that the earth is it rides. It's the same, it rides that a tone, all right, of sort. But this same frequency, right? Schumann resonance, it goes up to the ionosphere. Okay. Now you can utter things in the universe with your intent that links or connects with Schumann resonance, and it rides the tone or ride that same frequency wave, and it becomes trapped in Leo. And you say trapped in Leo. Leo, yes, low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit, that's Leo. Low Earth orbit. And it does connect with the ionosphere. All right. This is what they call the Akashic records. You know, the Akasha records are really the ionosphere. It's just really the ionosphere. It's sending the frequency up and receiving the frequencies from on high from the ionosphere. All right. You really have an ionosphere all around your body. All right. The human body is already a natural AM device capable of sending spiritual messages to the ionosphere. The ancestors designed you this way. The planet tuned itself to you. There's something I wanted to share with the community. But also, what is the ionosphere? It's a dynamic layer of Earth's upper atmosphere extending roughly about what? 30 miles and 600 miles above sea level. It's a region where gases are ionized by solar cosmic radiation, meaning that atoms and molecules have lost or gained electrons, creating electricity charged particles, ions, and free electrons. So, in actuality, guess what? You are providing you are providing the ionosphere with a recharge of electrons. Isn't that deep? This is something that you say, well, prove it. Well, at times they had a rain dance. At times we heard of a rain dance, and I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't see people made it rain, and I didn't see people that bring out the sun. And keep it real. I didn't see little children chanting, calling out the sun and bring out the sun. I'm gonna keep it real. And they have the most innocent intent. You keep it real. We was at a barbecue on Easter. It was straight raining, all raining, and then all the children gathered together. We had a tribal barbecue, and all the children gathered together, and they was like, "Yeah, Atum Ray, yeah, Atum Ray, yeah, Atum Ray." They was just calling out the sun, and guess what? It was the sun came out, and you say, "Oh man, that's a trick. It could have happened anyway." I don't know, but I know I've been in situations where we made it rain. We was at the pilgrimage vacation. We chanted so much that we made it rain. You say that was impossible. Well, ask the people that was there, that was chanting with us. It was a beautiful sunny day. It was a beautiful, there was no rain out there. Guess what? Exactly after we chanted, it rained on us. Like the universe blessed us. It was a divine miracle. It was a miracle for the people that was there. It was a miracle. It was something that I'm gonna tell you, I never experienced that before. I never experienced where we was chanting, and then right after we chanted, it rained on all of us, and it rained on us for 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, like like a like a bath of rain. It was a bath of rain. Indeed. Yeah, my wife would tell you it was a bath of rain that fell on us. Look, Oracle would tell you she was there. We chanted, all of us, everyone that was there in Puerto Rico. Man, we chanted in a circle of a fire circle. We did a fire baptism at that point. And when we did that fire baptism, we were all going around that circle chanting in that fire. We was doing a certain chant. And guess what? The universe rained on us, yo. And when it rained exactly at the moment we stopped. Exactly at the moment we stopped. And it says, "Zhoosh." And we was like, "Oh man, what we gonna do now?" And it just stopped. It flowed on us. It felt so good. It felt like we were replenished. It felt like it was a replenishing, yo. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of powers that we really have on this earth, but we have yet to experience them because you know why? We don't believe that we have these powers. Let me keep it 1,000 with you. So when I'm speaking about the box, listen, they have a box here on Earth to represent the dimensional box that we're stuck in. Like for instance, like like a if you think of like a computer program, right? Let's say we in a computer program, right? I'm in a computer program. Now it is a virus. A virus is trying to get to where it's trying to get to the software of the computer program in order to damage it, right? A virus would. But what goes deeper is if the virus is able to go to the hardware. If the virus is able to go to the hardware, it totally damages the computer, and the computer is beyond repair. What I'm saying to you is that we live in a realm where they put the hardware of the box here on the planet in order for us to not what like we can't damage it in no sort of way, and that way the box will always exist. For instance, you'll say, well, what box are you talking about? I'm talking about the Kaaba because, man, whether you know it, the Kaaba is, if you look at the Kaaba, it's 131. It's a square. They call it it's a cube itself. Okay. It's 11.3 feet in far as its sides, and it's 13.1 feet high, meters high, excuse me. 13 meters high and 11 11.1 meters on its side, 11.3 meters on its side, excuse me. All right. So the Kaaba of Mecca, I want y'all to hear me out. The Kaaba of Mecca, you can do your research. The Kaaba of Mecca is 11.3 feet on 11.3 meters on its sides, and its height is 13.1 meters. That's a 131. That is symbolic of the box right there. That's the box. All right. But they what they did is it's a trap, it's an entrapment for your mind. Because if you think about all of those people that are praying to that box, they're praying to keep the box over you. It's like for real, yeah. Because if you think about Muhammad, right? Muhammad, he didn't tell nobody to go around that thing and do all the stuff that they doing in Mecca and make it a pillar of worship and their worship in the building rather than worship Allah, because it's no place that Allah isn't according to the Quran. But they choose to have their direction of prayer towards a box of entrapment. See, you know what? The first thing Muhammad did when he went in that box, he destroyed everything that was in it. I need y'all to pay attention. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu when he went to the Kaaba of Mecca, which is a cube, when he went inside of it, guess what he did? He destroyed everything that was inside of it because it was nothing but idols. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to bring you up to speed what's going on. They placed us in a box today. They boxed us our mind in. They boxed our ideas in, our thoughts in some sort of way with religion. They boxed our thoughts in the way we limit ourselves. It's a box. All right. And that is the matrix that we got to break ourselves out of. But the only way that you break yourself out of it is answering a call. And that's why I brought y'all to that the square of Saturn, because the square of Saturn is the disciplinary in charge. And then in the book of Revelations, I showed you this as well. This is a review for people that know it, but for people that don't know it, that just coming on, look at this. 12, this right here is 21:16. And it says, and the city lieth four square, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with a reed of 12,000 furlongs, and the length and the breadth and the height of it were what? Equal. He's talking about a box. They're talking about a box in the book of Revelations that they're freeing you from. When the mothership lands, see, it doesn't land the way you think. The mothership lands on the minds and the hearts of the people. That's where it lands. It's not like a ship. Yeah, it's a ship, but it's a relationship with the mothers. It's a relationship with the fathers of old. That is the ship that carries you where you need to go. All right. All of these things are a riddle for you to crack. But the mothership is waiting for us in the future, essentially, because it already landed. It landed on the hearts and minds of many, and it's waiting to land on your heart right now, the mothership. And when it land on your heart, guess what? You'll be waiting for the rapture to come. You say, not, I'm saying you'll be waiting for the rapture because people say, oh man, the Christians say I'm saved. Well, if I'm saving money, what am I going to use this money for? Because I'm not just saving it for naught. I'm saving money to use it. And if God is saving you or if the universe saved you, well, you have to be utilized in some form of way. You have to have a purpose that you're fulfilling. All right. So yeah, the Revelations was talking about a box that they are breaking you, the angels are breaking you out of. This was a trap. And this is what I needed y'all to pay attention to because we cracked the code on this box. We cracked the code on all these things. All right. Symmetry. I break down the symmetry of the box, and you know, if you think about the I call it a verisimilitudism. I call it verisimilitudism versus realism because It's like a verisimilitude is what appears to your mind to be real, or what appears to your eyes to be real. Like none of these things is real, even though it feels or appears to be real. In some sort of way, it is a reflection, or it is a projection rather, of the box. That's all this is. It's a projection of the box. And once you're able to see out of it, guess what happens? You're able to transcend truly. All right. So, yeah, I got so many things. This is the prison. The prison was also the cell. That was the cell. And like I said, this has six sides associated to it. Six sides on this box. And these six sides are, represent the six, the sixth element of carbon and the carbonated body that we have. All right. And that was just 666, which represented the lower state of man. Keep it real. And that's Revelations 3:18. All right. 666. Okay, it's nothing against the number six, but I'm telling you that six protons, six neutrons, and six electrons represented the lower state of man. That's what it represented. And you can say and argue what you want, but the carbonated cell is not who you are. It's not what you truly transcend to be. You are here to have an experience in this world in order to transcend. All right, you are a God having a human experience. Keep it real. All right. So, you know, like when you see these images, you got to look at them in another way. You got to start looking at them three dimensionally. And that's what I was showing people. Start looking at things in another light. You know, stop looking at what is in front of you. Start looking through the situation. I'm going to keep it real. Whatever is in front of you, open it up, take a step back and reflect and say, man, what is the universe really saying? Or what's really going on here? All right. Because you know what their God is? Their God is gravity. I like how the brother Terrence Howard said that when he said their God is gravity. Because when you're in meditation, guess what you're breaking? The laws of gravity. When you're meditating, you're breaking the laws of gravity. When you're able to come close, listen, when you got all of these forces try to pull you apart and you're able to bring yourself closer, guess what? You are defying the laws of gravity. You are defying that law of gravity, which is their God. I want you to know that you're limitless. You have no limitation of who and what you are. But in order to tap into that limitless nature, the first thing is first, you have to separate yourself from what is and what isn't. All right. The universe has designed or has a plan for all of us. If you think about an architect when he's constructing a building, well, the architect constructs a building and he has a plan. That's the same thing for us. We tried to reconstruct and do things with the room, but the architect had a plan, and the builders that's building the building or the room, they go back to the plan of the architect. They don't care how you want to adjust the room. You want, oh man, I want this in the room. No, no, no. I want you to kick this wall out. And da 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 da. The architect, the builders say, you know what? We got to go to the architect. What was the plan? What was the plan? All right. And that's how it really is. Let me keep it real. But that cube is what we're breaking out of. And that cube is what had us in that trap. All right. And this is what I'm gonna share with y'all right here. I'm gonna show you a little something from the book. This is master key application for those 12, 6, 8. All right. And I wanted to read a little bit of the chromospheric war, how light was broken and how to rebuild it. And this is a book that has yet to come out by the Messiah Code. All right. But I'm giving you a little something that I wanted to speak on. All right. So in the highest dimension, light is not fragmented. It moves as a living water, whole, intelligent, without needing to fracture into colors or particles. It is only when light descends into distortion that it begins to split, twist, and shatter. You know what that distorted light is? I'm gonna keep it real. That distorted light that I'm referring to is you not believing in yourself. You not trusting you having like doubt. You having you know how they try to make you feel some sort of way that you're not great in some sort of fashion. That's the distortion of the light that I'm talking about in this book. All right. So yeah, look, look at this. The war against conscious, the war against conscious began with the war against light. Excuse me, the war against consciousness began with the war against light, not by darkness. Because let me tell you something. If I ever talk about darkness, I'm not talking about darkness how people be saying, oh, darkness and black darkness and trying to make it bad. If I talk about darkness in essence of whatever you perceive to be bad, I talk about obscurity. I'm not talking about when you close your eyes or in the peace of darkness. All right, just for anybody, just try and figure that one out. But yeah, the war of consciousness began with the war against light, not by darkness, not by the absence of light, but by the distortion of its path. The conquerors did not kill the sun, they twisted the way its codes arrived. And let me tell you something. You have a light that's within inside you, an inner sun, a solar plexus. The solar plexus, you know what that solar plexus is for? It's for you to attune the signal. It's for you to transmit the signal in some sort of way. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna show you something. Where is it at? Look, look at this. So we see the olfactory bulb and the pineal gland as the dual modulating circuit. We see the heart as the carrier frequency oscillator. We see the lungs as the antenna array, the spine as the transmission coil, the skin as the capacitor field, the voice as the signal output, the hands as directional emitters, and the feet as ground wire into the earth. This is your IM radio. This is your AM radio. These are all the components that work the AM radio. All right. And you have the ability or the mobility in to connect up with the universe because IM is really it's amplitude modulation, but IM is also the fact that you affirm that you exist. All right. I am is also in the word lamel because lamel is I am L. All right. So this is something I wanted to share with y'all about that. But seeing through these images or seeing through the sacred geometry of thought, we learn to move in a certain type of way and it opens our eyes to see the diamond, the same diamond that slayed Goliath. It was a diamond that slayed Goliath. It was a diamond that shattered the mountain. It was a diamond that shattered that mountain. All right. So through the greatness of who you are, you have to just walk it. All right. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about, you know, how people try to tread you down in some sort of way. Don't worry about those things. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you got something truly great inside you that it's like you never see a stone that just needs to be polished in some sort of way. People throw it away, but once you polish it, you be like, "Oh man, I found gold. I found gold." You like that stone that just needs to be polished in some sort of way. And what we going through is a polishing. The things, the challenges that we go through in life is the polishing. Trust me on that. All right. So what I wanted to say, I'll give you all a little bit more of this book. This is from the cube. So it says the first anomaly of this war is found in plasma lensing, plasma clouds in space, and in planetary atmospheres can bend light in ways no mirror can. They stretch, scatter, recombine beams until the original formation information is lost. Plasma is ionized hydrogen. It is corrupted. It is the corrupted brother of the pure hydrogen that binds DNA. This is the key. When hydrogen becomes chaotic plasma, it stops being a carrier of clean consciousness. All right, so somebody might say, well, you're going over my head here, Lamel. I don't know what you're talking about here. So in this book, I talk about the spiral ladder, or the hydrogen ladder, rather. All right, but it comes through spiraling. All right, the hydrogen ladder. Hydrogen is the first element, all right, on a periodical table. But through the hydrogen is what we utilize in order to tap into heaven's gate. You know, the letter H for hydrogen also is the eighth letter of the alphabet, but the H stands for heaven or hell. It depends on how you see yourself or how you judge yourself in your meditation. All right. But you're utilizing certain breath techniques. That's why I was giving you irrational numbers, because I was telling you, in a sense, when you utilizing the breath or how you breathe in, you're not utilizing numbers like one, two, three, boom, one, two, three, boom, closed off. No, you know that these numbers come with a natural sequence, and you move like that. Okay. You don't move with closed numbers to close the square. Okay, in your breath sequence when you're doing your meditation. But there's something else I wanted to share with you in this book. Let me see if I can read something else. Maybe it can touch a couple people. All right, I got you right here. Look at this. I'm gonna read the Prison Walker. I'm gonna read a little bit of the Prison Walker portion of this book. So, so when we talk about the Prison Walker, man, we talk about moving through the cube, but you have to go through the prism. The prism. The prism is where the light comes through the angle, or what we consider to be the angels. So prison walkers, the souls who escape and rebuild reality. So prison walkers are those who find the angle in the corner of the cube and step through it and step through it. So that's, it's a couple lessons I want to share with you about the 45-degree angle as well as the 90-degree angle, how they correspond with spiraling. Okay. And also 270 degrees, how you utilize a turn of a 270-degree spiral in order to navigate your energy through the grid. All right. So what happens is prison walkers are those who find the angle in the corner of the cube and step through it. They are not soldiers who punch walls. They are navigators of light who reflect consciousness into higher dimensions. All right. The prison walker understands that the force is useless against the walls designed to, excuse me, the prison walker understands that force is useless against walls designed to absorb force. Escape is not a matter of strength, it is a matter of frequency, angle, and vibration. So I put a couple of the calculations on here. How long you holding your breath, inhale, exhale, the spiral breath. I put this right here, and this is in the book. This is in the book, The Cube, Part 1. All right. So you need to know about the 361 degrees, and you need to know about all of these, um, I would say, sequences in order to transmit the signal. All right. You need to know about these things because it's all relevant to the conversation. So the prison walker understands that the force is useless against the walls designed to absorb force. Escape is not a matter of strength, it is a matter of frequency, angle, and vibration. The prison walker sees the cube for what it is, a box of belief systems, a shell of flattered potentials, a reduction of what? Infinite spirit into uh, imaginable forms. So listen, and then it says the prison walker understands that the math, excuse me, prison walker understands the math that The corner of the cube is the glitch point, the breaking of the false program where walls forget how to hold you. This is deep because you got the wide base rooted in you got the wide base rooted in observation, and you got the rising apex focus and intention. So these are things that I need y'all to pay attention to as well, because this is the wide base. This is the wide base of the tetrahedron. Okay, this is the wide base of it. All right, and then the apex of the tetrahedron is the focus intention. All right, that's when I brought y'all to this image right here. Yeah, the wide base of it's the observation, but that point right there, the apex, represents focus and tension. All right. So the fourfold consciousness, thought, emotion, action, spirit, all unified. All right. So this is important understanding the higher echelon of the lessons of what some people may call the Christ consciousness, but we in actuality don't call it the Christ consciousness. We call it the Messiah network. Okay. It's the network of the Messiah, because you got two bodies, one a body of manifestation and a body of resurrection as well, that we take on as messiahs. All right, so I think that's it. I'm gonna read a little bit more. How about that? I'm gonna read a little bit more, and then we're gonna do it like that of the prism walker chapter. All right, so it says it says listen, they refract their light upward. They don't wait for permission to ascend. They project their being diagonally through dimensions that were once unseen. Because remember, unseen is Gabriel, or Gabriel. The unseen, if I say unseen, I'm talking about Gabriel, because that is an angel. It's just a divine principle. All right? So prison walkers do not walk straight, they spiral, they bend light like wizards bending rivers. They curve reality without resistance. Prison prison walkers, excuse me, old laws collapse. In prison walkers, old laws collapse. Gravity bends, time folds, memory reshapes, expectation dissolves. When a prison walker moves through the corner, a fractal crack forms in the cube. Others feel it as an unease, a disturbance. Some awaken from the ripple. All right? Meaning, as a prison walker, you're going to affect those that are around you. They're going to see what's going on with you. They're going to see your transcendence. And some people are going to want to be a part of it, but some people are going to try to bring you back to the ways of old. All right? Let me say this. And then it says prison walkers rebuild reality outside the cube by using the sacred laws of the spiral architecture. Build with curves, not blocks. You know what it means by building with curves, not blocks, y'all? I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell you what it really means in essence, meaning that none of us are perfect. You know, you get into a destination, you might think it's a straight line, but you'll stop so many times along the way that you'll never get there through that straight line. All right, just trying to be so straight. Just move the way nature provides. Nature is nothing in nature that's a straight line. Name something that nature built with a straight line. None of the trees are straight. None of the rivers are straight. None of the whatevers are straight. Nothing is built on straight lines. Show me something. Oh man, the universe or nature just built a straight line box. No, that was man made. That was a dimensional reality that they put us in. But all of that we can break out of because we deal with the curvature of nature. But nature doesn't create things in straight lines. And you're not going to get to where you're going to go in a straight line. You're going to do some curving along the way so you can be able to get the full totality of the lesson. So you can have your highs and your lows. It's not always going to be high. You're going to have your highs and your lows. And that's the curvature nature of life. And that creates spiraling. All right. So I'm gonna leave y'all at that. I did wanted to do some reading. If anybody want me to do any readings before I get off, I'll do a reading. Excuse me. I will be utilizing the purple pills of the Codex. All right. I think this broadcast is going somewhat extremely well. Somewhat extremely well. For some reason, my music didn't come on, and I really love to have my music playing. But for some reason, my music didn't come on. So what I did was I just kept it flowing. I kept it flowing. But nobody if nobody wants me to do any readings tonight, I'll just move forward and I'll come back on another time. This was a great discussion. I want to say thank you for everyone. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I did wanted to do a speech for the Tuwalu, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, so I can do it. I can do it during the daytime. All right, and I can, more or less connect with a couple people. But otherwise, then I'm gonna just take it down. I'm gonna just say thank you for your time, and hopefully this information was pretty decent and it connected a couple people to a couple people in a way. All right. I love y'all. 747 24/7 361 degrees. Peace to the Messiahs. Peace to you and yours. All right. Link up, link up, link up. All right. I put the email. You can also order the books from Amazon if you want, or you can order them from the website. Depends on whatever you want to do. Okay. But I love you. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your time. It's really worth everything. I'm gonna keep it real. For the people that are watching now and people that are watching in the future, I'm gonna say your time is priceless. And I really appreciate it for what it's worth. And may these lessons be a beacon and a guide for you to move forward throughout your journey. All right. So I love y'all 747 24/7 361 degrees. Whew. I am Solar Pride Supreme 131 Lazarus Lamel of the Messiah Code movement, also of the Tuwalu tribe. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for your time and enjoy. Enjoy your night. It's 12:12 right now. It's all love. Cool.